It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit him online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
This is Jimmy Buffett, and you're listening to the Sports Lords on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Let's go to the beach.
Do current market conditions have you nervous? Our experienced team of financial professionals at Heritage Harbor Financial Associates understands that no two investors are alike. We all have different goals, needs, and appetites for risk. That's why the one-size-fits-all approach does not work, especially when planning for retirement. At Heritage Harbor Financial Associates, we analyze your unique investment style so that you can work toward your individual retirement goals on your terms. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stock-sponsored mutual funds and variable annuities are not FDIC insured and are subject to fluctuation in value and market risk, including loss of principal. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offers securities through AXA Advisors LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC. Annuity and insurance products offered through AXA Network LLC.
Be fearless at MMA Long Island and Seituha Karate. Located at 28 Colt Court in Ronkonkoma, MMA Long Island is the martial arts school for you if you want to learn combat-proven techniques, build confidence, discipline, and self-esteem while learning real martial arts to fight back against bullies, predators, and peer pressure. MMA Long Island offers group and private lessons for all ages and levels in traditional Goju-Ryu Karate, MMA, and self-defense. MMA Long Island is one of Long Island's most affordable martial arts schools. There are no promotion, belt, or membership fees, and family discounts are available. All classes are taught by 7th degree black belt Sensei John Benedict with over 30 years teaching experience. So whether you want to get in the ring or protect yourself and your family, MMA Long Island can help you reach your goals. Visit MMALongIsland.com. That's MMALongIsland.com or call or text 516-381-9660. That's 516-381-9660.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
This week's episode of the Sports Lords is brought to you by the England national football team. Hello, Gov. Would you like to watch a bit of heartbreakingly bad football? The English national football team. We suck, isn't it? And now it's time for the Sports Lords. Sports team.
Oh,
hey, oh
hey,
man,
hey.
Oh crikey! Oh no, that's Australian.
Oh, we bloody lost your bloody match to those dirty Italians.
Oh, lost the game, bollocks!
Oh, bollocks! You were right, plonker with a Willy Wonka in it.
I better go eat some blood pudding.
A bit of spotted dick. What a frog in a pond.
On a pint of beer.
A cup of tea.
A cup of builder's tea and then a pint of bitters in it.
It's great to make fun of the English.
Yeah, as three Irish lords on one broadcast, three real life Irish landowners in Ireland, the three of us. Yeah,
we have England. That right.
Get out of here.
Yeah,
it's all right. It's our responsibility, actually.
Yeah,
but I will say, despite us just making fun of the English for a while, part of me was kind of pulling for them, to be honest, because I thought it would be cool to see them win in their home country after a year and a half of strict lockdowns. Thought it'd be fun for them, but
no,
I know Diego's shaking his head. He doesn't agree.
No. And I'm not a fan of the Italian national team necessarily either. The Forza Azzurri are, not my favorite, but the English fans are insufferable, and even more insufferable are the Americans who think they're English fans or pretend to be English fans. It's even more
I will agree. So, I agree.
Because I like the players on England. It's the fans that make me not be able to root for them.
I can't speak as much to the actual English fans, but there is something, it might be my least favorite thing is an American who is super into English football. It's weird. I don't like it.
Yeah. I will say I did see video of like Italian Americans in like New York
just as bad
celebrating, and I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Yeah, dude, because like let's be honest, any Italian American probably has said at some point soccer is gay.
Yeah,
and now they're pretending like they're like, this is for us, we did it. And it's like, what the
and to be clear, they said these Italian Americans we were describing said soccer is gay, not in the woke way.
Is there a woke way to say that?
Well, it's not cool like it is now.
No, they mean
like,
they
gay
mean
is
that
cool. They mean like in the negative connotation that was used when we were all growing up.
So yeah,
freely.
Yes, and I don't know which.
Like the Giglio boys over by the old sportatorium.
Yeah.
I don't imagine huge soccer fans all year round.
Yeah, right. I saw some Johnny come lately Italian Americans the day of the final pretending like, let's do this. Let's shut these English fans up. And it's like, can you name one player on Italy?
I will say this. The Italian Americans are a little bit more year-long prideful of the Italianness in them more often than not than some of our friends who suddenly are English fans.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's all bad.
It's all bad.
I think
it's fine. Root for whoever you want. I genuinely don't care.
Of course, you can root for whoever you want.
Yeah.
I do think it's like if you have, because I know people who their parents were from England or they have family and like they have a close connection.
Sure.
And that's great. And I don't know. It's just I don't know. Yeah, it's weird how to your point, people suddenly are like, well, I mean, I'm of English descent, so of course I want England to win.
And the thing to me that was driving me nuts on social media was some of these people who were like, suddenly owned English jerseys and, suddenly knew the names of these guys were also like waving the stars and stripes a few days before during the 4th of July and like talking about how America's number one and the best. And it's like, hey, who was it that y'all kicked out? I never root for Spain. I'll say that. I'm from El Salvador. I never root for Spain in soccer. I can't root for the colonizers. I just can't. I like a lot of the players, but
and you probably have
I can't
Spanish lineage, right?
Oh, I'm mostly Spanish. I don't think there's much native blood in me just based on my appearance. But then again, we've discovered that you can be surprised, I guess. But there's my family, I believe, is heavily from the Basque country. I've never done an ancestral thing, but that's sort of what's come up.
Well, you should, yeah.
I wish I could root for Ireland. I do in like the Olympics,
sure,
but they never win anything. So, that makes it tough.
That makes it tough when the Irish team like never qualifies for the Euros.
It's like that with El Salvador, man. Like El Salvador still holds the record for worst loss in World Cup history. 10-1. We're number one, baby.
I remember during the '96 Olympics in Atlanta, there was this female Irish swimmer who won like a couple. She won like a gold medal, but she got it taken away because she'd been on steroids.
Yeah, and
so she had just been drinking too much.
Exactly. Those are called Irish steroids.
Irish steroids.
And I will say part of why I tried to get into the English team too was they have several basically first generation Irish people, like English people, parents from Ireland, like Harry Maguire, Declan Rice, Harry Kane. So I was like, well, it's sort of like rooting for
I don't
an Irish team.
Root whoever you want to root for. I just have like weird biased opinions towards England and their fans from like a historical, like being a lifelong soccer fan and just like the pettiness and politics within soccer fans, international soccer fan stuff. So it's like, I don't know. Because again, I like the English team. They're one of the most likable English teams that I can remember. Like when David Beckham played and stuff, I feel like those were unlikable teams, but these guys are kind of nice and goofy. But yeah,
and I like that when Jordan Pickford, their goalkeeper, is interviewed, he is 100% unable, like impossible to understand.
He looks like he's been through a lot, but that's just the British way, because he looks like a weird pale and like bags under the eyes, but he's 22 or whatever.
He's got a thick Geordie accent because he's from Newcastle, and you literally you need subtitles. So I like that. But yeah, he also seems to have some, even for a goalie, some like real anger problems, because anytime there's a shot on goal, he is berating his whole back line without fail.
Which sometimes it's their fault, but sometimes it's like, what do you want me to do, man? The guy took a shot. Like,
yeah,
it's soccer. So that's what they do.
Part of the game. Part of the game. But to your point, Diego, yeah, I have seen. I mean, the English fans, not all of them, but there are some there's some streaks of racism in England. It's not unique in that way.
It's very deep in Italy too. Like,
Italy's even more notorious for racism.
But if we're just keeping it on the field and stuff, I don't know.
Well, yeah, as you maybe don't know, but like Mario Balotelli, when he played for Italy and played in Italy in the professionally, didn't have an easy time.
No,
they're not. And I've been to Spain, and I was traveling with some people of color, and the Spanish, they're pretty fucking racist too. So I don't want to make this out to be like English people are uniquely racist, but let's just say there's some racist English fans who happen to notice that the three people who missed in the shootout were all not white, and they are not they're being quite noisy about that fact, which is not cool. We're against racism on this pod.
Hot take here, not into racism.
Yeah,
it's bad.
Yeah,
stop doing it. Stop doing it.
Yep.
Yeah, that was like sad to see. I knew it was coming because like there's been a lot of recent issues with the English national team, because one of their players, Marcus Rashford, who he's the guy, if you were watching the game, like danced around a little bit and then fooled the goalie completely, but hit the post on the penalty kick. He's been, since last summer with the George Floyd stuff here and how that bled all over the world, he's been more vocal, and he's been really standing up for the community in England and doing a lot of good social work and like buying lunches and like funding schools and stuff for children. But he's also been kneeling before starts of the game, and he gets booed. Like English fans have been booing the national team for kneeling. And when he missed, I immediately turned to my wife and was like, it's going to be bad for him.
Yeah, I was just bummed because, I just think he's a great player. He plays for
he's
Manchester
awesome.
United.
Yeah.
And he is from Manchester, so he's like a local kid made good. And he like does a lot for the community. I know that too. And I want to give a shout out to a friend of the pod, Liam Gallagher, for quickly coming to Marcus's defense and as a fellow Mancunian.
Even though he's a red and Liam's a blue, but still.
Right. Liam's a Man City fan, but surprisingly cool head from Liam after the loss. He said he sent his love to the team and said, hey, let's go win the World Cup next year. But yeah, it's an unfortunate part of sports. We saw it here in that first NFL game. People took a knee and Kansas City fans booed. It's just
they booed the idea of unity even before the knee.
Right. Booing unity. So and before the final, the England national team, they all took a knee. So did the Italian team, surprisingly, because they don't lack a social justice. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I mean, obviously that was a cool thing for them to do.
Yeah, it was cool solidarity because like it's been hard because it's the whole thing has been like, let's not politicize the Euros. Like UEFA, the governing body, has been like, no politics, keep it out. That's why like Germany got in trouble when they started out and their goalie was captain armband was like the pride flag. And so they investigated why he was making a political statement. It was like, I don't know. It's what they gave me to wear. Like, I don't pick these and I don't care. So they're trying to make it not political. So
how can they get upset about that? And then like the whole match, pretty much, it was like a Volkswagen pride thing.
Well, they were upset because I think they were playing Hungary, and Hungary just outlawed being gay in their country, basically.
Oh my God.
So,
pretty cool.
It would be gay, but it's illegal. Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's a cool time we're living in. Things are very great all over the place. But while we're talking footy at the top of the show here before we get going, I also want to send a quick congratulations to the country of Argentina, specifically Lionel Messi, for winning the Copa America on Saturday, which is the equivalent of the Euro, but South America. Messi, arguably the greatest player of all time, finally won a trophy for his national side. He was 0-4 in finals, never getting much help from his teammates. He finally did. He got the monkey off his back. They beat Brazil 1-0 in Brazil, which is even sweeter for those Argentines because that's a rivalry there.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. I bet that's a pretty heated one.
Yeah,
I'll give a little clap to them.
So they were able to pull it off, and so yeah, congratulations to them. Much less fanfare here for that tournament that was happening simultaneously, at least on the major networks, not on Univision. They were talking about it a lot, but but that also happened. So yeah, congratulations to Argentina for coming up champs. So now they'll play Italy in in a friendly game to see crown that.
Oh, that's cool. I didn't know they did that. That's fun.
Yeah, they'll play, and then the winner of the Gold Cup, which just started, which is North America, which will basically be either the US or Mexico, because sorry, the rest of my region, we're not going to win anything. It'll be one of those two countries. It'll be the Confederations Cup before the World Cup, where like all the champions of the continents play each other.
That's cool.
So it's like a tune-up for the host country of the World Cup to do that, which is always a fun thing. But well, that's footy. That's what happened over the thing.
Footy.
Yeah, sorry, England.
I mean, hell, the hate for England was everywhere. Scotland, I sent you guys the photo. Scotland's like national newspaper on the front page had photoshopped picture of the Italian coach over Mel Gibson's William Wallace and Braveheart. And it said, Roberto, you're our final hope, because they wanted England to lose so bad.
The thing,
countries don't like each other. Countries don't like each other.
But I responded to that because I kind of want to tell the Scots to like miss me with that, because it's like you guys literally just had a vote where you could have seceded, and you're like, oh, we don't want to do that. Actually, we're actually scared to leave our dummy. So like, shut the fuck up about hating England. You guys love it. You want a little spanking from England, don't you?
Yeah, and I'll make fun of the Scots all I want because I'm an Irish lord and I don't like the Scots.
Yeah, guess what? Guess what we did in Ireland, folks?
Yeah.
We got away from
We kicked them out of there. Okay.
Get out of here. Stay up in the north for
Get out of here with your
while.
skirts, whatever that is.
Yeah.
Kilts.
But the Scots are like, no, please don't. Oh, we don't like you. Oh, I would hate it if you came over here and spanked me right in my bottom. Ooh, I'd hate that. That's
yeah, they're pervs. They're sick little weirdos. There's no doubt about it.
Definitely.
Yeah. Braveheart my ass. More like scared heart. Come at me, Scotland.
Also, it's a funny image to use because it didn't really work out so well for William Wallace. He kind of lost.
He got drawn and quartered.
Yeah.
I hate when that happens.
Here we are 700 years later, and the Brits are still calling the shots up there. So, yeah. Not a great outcome.
Kind of worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Losers. But anyway, now that we've covered
the football or calcio, as they say in Italy.
Well, I don't know. Do we want to? Diego, have you been watching the NBA finals?
I have. Mine eyes have seen it.
Mine eyes have seen it. What are your thoughts?
I think Phoenix is clearly, it's hard to say, because Phoenix, the first two games look dominant. They're the least injured team. They had the most rest. So they were looking dominant. But then last night, Giannis is playing hurt and playing incredible. He's just really good. He had a hell of a game and just dominated the game by himself. And it's hard to make any kind of, I still think Phoenix is going to win, but it's just so hard to tell because like Milwaukee's done this the whole playoffs where like against Brooklyn, they looked awful and got embarrassed the first couple games. And then they went back to Milwaukee. They went back to Cream City. And all of a sudden, like they kind of got it going, and started playing well. So I don't know. I still think Phoenix is the favorite. I think they're the most complete team, top to bottom, and I think they have a deeper bench. But the Milwaukee Stars are just, like how do you stop Giannis?
Yeah, it is weird how they keep doing that. They just get owned in like the first game or two, and then they surge back. So you can't count them out.
Yeah. It seems like Chris Paul's on a mission though.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a destiny run for him right now. So, but hey, you never know.
Devin Booker had an awful game last night. I don't think that's going to happen again. He just could not get it going for whatever reason. He kept missing shots. The Cream City nightlife is it's going to get
distracting.
It's distracting. All this,
between the brats
and the Kurds
and the
high life, the high life,
exactly.
It's gonna get to you.
And there's probably, I would guess, within driving distance, there's probably a dang state fair going on right now.
Oh yeah. Oh, it's prime Wisconsin State Fair season right now.
It's how they get the wins. Like whenever a team flies into Milwaukee, it's like they'll, in Atlanta, it's like the shoe shows, the strip clubs will get the best players tired out. But when you fly into Milwaukee, it's like they'll do this on purpose. They'll be like, hey, Devin Booker, you want to judge the best hog contest at the state fair or you want to judge the biggest corn at the state fair and they'll go out and get tired.
Yeah. Or they just send a complimentary delivery of cheese curds to every player on the opposing team.
How can you not eat them?
Exactly. then they're just constipated and bloated for the entire next day. It's a great strategy.
And what happens when you're constipated? You can't shoot. Everyone knows that.
You can't shoot, and you can't do something else that starts with sh and ends with a T.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's easy place to get distracted, and Phoenix equally so. The Valley, party town, I assume.
It actually kind of is.
Yeah, actually, I've never been to Phoenix, but I could see that. It's the desert. People are, the sun's out all the time. Their brains fried. They just want to go out, do a bunch of blow, get blackout drunk. Why not?
Audit elections,
sure,
all the good stuff.
Yeah.
I actually have been to multiple Wisconsin State fairs.
Nice.
Yeah. It's pretty fun. Fun.
Yeah.
Cheese curds. If you haven't had a freshly fried cheese curd, oh, brother, it'll change your damn life.
Yeah, I wasn't kidding about any, like the brats, the curd, like the high life, like give it. I would rather, I'm at the age now that I would rather all that than go to Magic City.
For sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. And, I don't think I've ever been to a state fair at all. So that I would like to do that.
I went to the Tennessee State Fair my sophomore year in college and got to see Charlie Daniels playing that fiddle.
Hell yeah.
And saw some nice hogs, saw some nice horses, great sheep,
That's great.
Yeah, good barbecue. It was great.
Damn.
Yeah.
I'm jealous. I mean, the closest thing we have here in New York is the street fairs.
Right.
Yeah.
Smorgasburg.
Not that. No, I'm thinking more of the Giglio Fest.
No, I know. I'm kidding. Yeah.
Wouldn't be caught dead at that, but yeah.
Yeah, I still think Phoenix is in the driver's seat. I know they're up 2-1, so obviously easy to say, but I don't know. I think they're the deeper team. I think Devin Booker will get it going again, and yeah, I don't know. Coach Bud refuses to make adjustments, so I think it's going to catch up to them finally.
Yeah,
Coach Bud just looks so he looks permanently hungover now.
Yeah,
just so tired. I guess he's having the high lifes and the cheese curds.
And
well, he has a history of that, unfortunately. He unfortunately has a history of having a little too many high lives, and then driving a car, and then police being like, "You can't do that."
Yeah, freaking cops. Come on.
Yeah, it's Coach Bud. But I've been trying to post Coach Bud looks like jokes on Twitter throughout the playoffs. So if any listener out there wants to join in on the fun, please send us your best Coach Bud looks like ... joke, which everyone's doing. It's not exclusive to us. It's not my idea. I stole it from others, but hey, everyone's doing it.
There's a lot of fun to be had there.
Yeah, because to me, Coach Bud, like one of them, I think was like Coach Bud looks like the guy at like the family party who beats all the kids at ping pong and then brags about it. Because he does. He looks like that kind of guy, or the guy that steals a foul ball at a game from a kid and then throws it back onto the field.
Yeah, he looks like I don't know. He looks like a guy who'd say, like, I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah, and mean it.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
He looks like the first phase of in Total Recall when Arnold takes his helmet off and his eyes start like, he looks like the very beginning of that happening.
Yeah. Yeah. He looks kind of like a withered Alex Jones a little bit. Like if you put Alex Jones out in the sun and sort of let him dry out for a while.
Like a raisined.
Yeah.
If Alex Jones is the prune or whatever.
Yeah, Alex Jones stops taking all the supplements he pushes on his show and just shrivels down, like you said. Yeah. That's a good. That is what he looks like, actually.
Lizard people running the government.
Y'all just get in there. Giannis, pick and roll now with Middleton.
Giannis, use your third eye. Use your third eye.
Yeah, take this alien DNA supplement. It'll help you dunk bigger.
Giannis, the sun isn't real. You can beat them. Sun isn't real. Yeah, that's the NBA Finals. That's like an intense breakdown for all of you out there. So go ahead and get your bets in.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, you can lock it in thanks to us. You're welcome.
Lock it in.
But we expect our cut. So
yeah.
No
one else is breaking down the finals like we are.
No.
All right.
All right.
The cat is on my head right now. This is fun.
But yeah, speaking of things being on people, how about Major League Baseball, huh? We got to know that.
Oh yeah.
Not only can we get into that, we're going to get into it right now.
Nice.
I got to have the crack of the bat.
Yeah, because we are at the midway point of the season.
Yeah, midway point, conventional wisdom says some people say you can't really gauge the standings. They don't really mean anything until Memorial Day. But I think the latest people say is like, where are you at the All-Star break? Mm-hmm. And where we are as Braves fans is the worst possible situation we could possibly be in.
Yeah.
So from a personal Braves standpoint, because if you follow baseball, you probably heard that on Saturday, playing against the Marlins, our beloved Ronald Acuna Jr. tore his ACL, and he's probably out. Exactly. He's probably out for minimum 9 months, but possibly a year.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Sucks quite bad. And just confirms it's a cursed season, I think, for the Braves.
Yeah. Not that they were going to do anything with him healthy.
Yeah.
But, you don't want your star player injured at all. And hopefully he can come back, eventually. But, I think we can all stop, paying super close attention to the Bravos. I think it's
that
kind of a done deal there. It's been done, but now officially done.
Yeah.
And to make it even worse, also Ian Anderson could be injured, the young pitcher for the Braves. But yeah, the Ronald Acuna thing, even me, a diehard, that's probably the team I follow most closely. I kind of don't want to watch any games for a long time because Jesus Christ. I mean,
well, the starting outfield now is Abraham Almonte, Guillermo Heredia, and I guess Ender Inciarte or Ehire Adrianza.
Adrianza and Arcia. All
names that people know, all very well-known guys. They've been around forever. It's great.
Yeah.
So to start the season, just so people know, it was Christian Pache at center, the young prospect who was showing a lot of promise.
The new Andrew Jones, basically.
Yeah, and he kind of just started out the season so poorly that they just sent him back down. We're basically he's not ready. So that was one blow. And then, of course, the Marcelo Zuna arrest. We don't need to get into all that, but suffice it to say, he's after signing a 4-year, $65 million contract, will almost definitely never play in a Braves uniform again.
Mm-hmm.
They might just have to eat that price, or he might go to prison, and then they wouldn't. But regardless, so that happened. And now Ronald Acuna hurt his knee. It's kind of worst possible scenario. Now, the only thing I'm waiting for is we somehow, even though he wants to, we don't sign Freddie Freeman. He goes to the Angels. And then it's just like, what are we doing? We were supposed to be in a dynasty window here where it was like, this is the year. A lot of people picked the Braves to win the World Series this year or to go to the World Series. I don't even think they're going to make the playoffs now. And if they do, I don't see how they could get out of the first round because they could make, like, before the Acuna injury, I still had some hope. I was like, yeah, they can make a couple moves, get the bullpen a little stronger.
Right. Trevor Story had been floated out there as a potential signing, which is like, okay, cool. We got another bat that's gonna,
Yeah. But now it's just like, no, they're done. I don't see them making the playoffs. There's no way. I hope they just sell at the trade deadline and try to get some value for, like, because I think Charlie Morton's on a 1-year contract. So you could trade him and try to get some prospects or something.
Because Charlie's been, for the most part, pretty great. Yeah. He's I agree with you. I'm like, I think this front office at this point, because I think they probably, before the injury, were still not going to make any big moves. They were probably going to make a couple underwhelming moves, as they are wont to do. And now I think, I think it's time to just punt this season and say this wasn't our year, and come back next year. And for the love of God, don't rush Ronald Acuna back. Because that's kind of what they did with Mike Soroka, and now he's out. I mean, I don't even know if he'll ever pitch again, to be honest.
Well, I was gonna say, like, you went over the outfield, but like the pitchers were like the same. Like coming into the season, it was like, because for those of you that don't follow baseball or the Braves, like the Braves were they were about to go to the World Series last year. You know what I mean? Like
they had 3 chances. There were 3 different times, 1 win away from the World Series.
They were 1 win away from multiple times. So, and the team was coming back, and it was coming back improved because they did that with the aces all injured last year. So they were coming back with the same team, those pitchers, and adding Soroka, who was like our ace, and all these other guys, and injuries have just completely swallowed them up. And also, not signing Mark Melancon seems to be kind of an awful move.
That was terrible.
And not signing. Okay, I've had a enemy of the pod, Jack Daly, is. I'm gonna call him out because he for a long time was saying Duvall should not have been. He didn't think it was a mistake to not re-sign Adam Duvall, the outfielder. Exactly, incorrect. And he's tried to walk it back, but we know what he said. I've got the receipts to prove it. Adam Duvall, basically they didn't really have to do anything to re-sign him. It was just like pick up his option or whatever. Right. And they just didn't. And he is now the NL leader for RBIs playing.
The Marlins are paying him $5 million. Like, which is nothing for a fourth. He would have been the 4th outfielder. Now he would be the starting left fielder.
He'd probably be the best outfielder we have right now.
Yeah.
And I just think it's insane that they didn't do that. It's insane they didn't re-sign Melancon. Kind of wish they'd re-sign Darren O'Day, because from what I hear, he was sort of the bullpen leader.
Yeah.
Darren O'Day. Darren O'Day.
From West Cork, born and raised. On a bog is where I spent most of my days. So
there's a bog that taught me how to throw a baseball.
Oh, and there's like injuries we forget. Like I just remembered Travis d'Arnaud.
Oh yeah, Trav Dog.
And Huascar Ynoa. Yeah. Who was having like an amazing season.
Hitting and pitching and hitting.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd hit a grand slam if I remember correctly, right?
Yeah.
And he broke his hand punching a bench. And so it's like everything. And then Soroka re-tore his Achilles after it was healed and he was coming back, which I've never even heard of that happening. So, and I'm sure I'm forgetting other. So it's like, I don't think that this season could have possibly gone worse for the Braves up to this point. Like the saving grace was the rest of the division wasn't very good. The Mets were not running away with it. So it was like, all right, we still got time. Like if the Acuna injury hadn't happened, I'd be like, yeah, we're still in this thing.
You could maybe make a wild card, because even if the front office makes an underwhelming moves, sometimes those underwhelming moves, you get like a veteran or something and they get hot, you know what I mean? Or like they can help carry you just far enough to make a wild card spot. And then it's wide open, you just got to get in and then anything can happen.
Yeah. But yeah, they're not.
I think now it's it.
Think you can
done.
stick a fork in them.
It's done. Just like, I'm with you, Jimmy. Like sell, get what you can, and let's try it again next year.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
what are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? So,
but
yeah,
now
I think it's a race in the East, NL East. Mets. I'm just looking at the standings now. I mean, the Phillies are in second. The Nationals have lost 2 of their last 10, or lost 8 of their last 10.
I mean, speaking of like grand slams and pitchers, Max Scherzer gave up a granny to relief pitcher for the Padres in his like second game ever, which was like really cool, I thought.
Yeah,
that was crazy. Yes. Thank you, producer Kyle. Daniel Camarena.
Mm-hmm.
That was insane. The Padres, that was a crazy come from behind win. I mean, the NL West is the division to watch in the NL because
the rest of the NL's pretty stinky poo-poo stinky.
Pretty stinky poo-poo. I mean, the Reds are entertaining just because they have a bunch of psychos on their team.
That is like the most psycho team in all of professional sport. It's like they're the sort of the Brooklyn Nets of baseball, but they're not as good as like the talent level isn't there. Like, cause like KD, Kyrie are all like insane in their own ways. And it's like you have a bunch of nuts on Cincinnati.
Yeah, like Castellanos is he's crazy. Who's that reliever they have?
The guy that gets in the fights.
Amir Garrett.
Amir Garrett. Yeah.
So they're crazy. And the NL Central, I mean, the Brewers are winning
it. The Brew Crew is winning it right now.
And the Cubs, just after a great start, just totally shat the bed in the end of the first half. And lost
all signs, all the hot stove talk is that the Brew Crew are going for it this year. And they're looking at, trade deadline deals and stuff to ramp up that team.
I mean, yeah, why not? They basically, looking at the numbers, they have a shot to just run away with that division right now.
And they're good. They have some good pitching. They got some good pieces on that team, some good young guys. So
yeah.
And the West, there's like the Giants that came out of nowhere and are 2 games up.
Crazy.
So crazy because everyone just assumed the Dodgers would run away with it. But it's like Dodgers, Padres, Giants. It's going to be really fun to watch that play out.
Yeah, it looks like both of the wild card teams are going to come out of the West, which is pretty wild.
Yeah, so no matter what any one of those 3 teams, I mean, that rivalry's become pretty intense.
Speaking of fan violence.
Yeah, they're big on that out in California.
They love that.
And then you jump over to the NL. I mean, the Red Sox are like the Giants of the AL because nobody expected it, but they're in first place in the AL East because there's just a very strong division. But the Yankees have been super underwhelming so far.
Mm-hmm.
And the legacy, Diego's baby birds, the legacy Jays.
Lifelong fan.
Yeah. Lifelong fan. They're 8 games back. And the Rays are right there, game and a half back.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just like going through the divisions because then you got La Russa's White Sox. In the Central.
It looks like they're going to take the Central.
Yeah. Which that just goes to show being a baseball manager is probably like one of the easiest things in sports. Like, if you have a great team and someone hands you, it's like you can't. There's only so much you can fuck up with that.
It's just like the bullpen, right?
Yeah.
Basically, setting the lineup, literally walking the lineup to the umpire. It's like that Office Space scene. It's like, so let me get this straight.
Yeah.
You bring the thing to the thing. He's like, well, no, my secretary does that, but that's sort of being a manager.
Yeah. The hardest thing about being a manager is being an old man who still has to put on a uniform for some reason.
Mm-hmm. And most of them don't even wear the full uniform these days. They just wear a hoodie and they wear the pants. They just have like a t-shirt on underneath.
That's what I respected about Bobby Cox the most is that he put on the cleats. He put on the stirrup socks. Like he was like,
Bobby, we need you out there at third base.
Okay.
I wish to God other sports did that. Like if NBA coaches had to wear like the jerseys and the shorts and football coaches had to wear pads. Oh man,
that would be the ultimate.
That'd be the best.
Yeah.
But to round it out, I just want to finish by saying, Stros are in the West. That division's a little more competitive because the Oakland A's are still in it. But so yeah, that's your kind of.
Will the Angels finally make the playoffs? Will Mike
I don't
Trout?
think so. They're
not, and it sucks.
They're game over 500.
Yeah, no, they're not going to make it. I was kidding, but you know,
it really is a bummer. You want that team to be good.
I want to see Shohei Ohtani all the time because he's incredible. I want to see Mike Trout all the time because he's incredible. But
I know. It sucks, man.
Garbage.
Yeah.
And I also want. This is just a minor quibble I have with them, but they're a major league team, and you can like the vista that they look out on. You could just see the highway.
Yeah,
that's lame, man. Come on, that's the best. Because I know that's how it is in Buffalo, but that's a minor league.
It's a minor league team, and
right.
I don't think Disney owns this minor league team. Doesn't Disney own the Angels or whatever?
I
believe so.
Yeah,
I believe that's right.
Come on.
Yeah,
come on, Disney. What are you doing?
But at the time of recording this, isn't the home run derby tonight?
Yes.
Correct.
Who do you got? I mean, I think we probably all think the same person's probably going to win it, right?
Ohtani.
Trey Mancini.
Yeah.
Trey Mancini.
I mean, Trey's been huge for my fantasy team. That's the only reason I know who he is.
It would be cool to see him win because he's coming back from ball cancer.
Yeah.
Right? Or no, colon cancer.
Yeah.
I think. Sorry, I just wanted to say ball cancer.
Ball cancer is funnier than colon, but you know.
So that would be cool. But yeah, I think the smart money is on Shohei.
I mean, if Trey Mancini is smart, he'll come out with Italian flags tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Put on the blue soccer, just like really like lean into like everything for over the weekend. It's like, I'm Italian. But yeah, no,
he's gonna get a run for his money from Joey Gallo.
Oh yeah.
That's true. Joey Gallo? I said Joey Callow. Little
my cousin Vinny.
Yeah, that's right. I was blanking on the movie I was referencing, but you got it. Thank you.
No, but Shohei.
The bracket here is Shohei in the first round. I guess they do like head to head now.
Yeah.
Maybe they always have, and I'm just an idiot. But it's Shohei versus Juan Soto, which I don't know how they do the seeding for this because Juan Soto's the 8th seed.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got Sal Perez, catcher for the Royals, against Officer Pete Alonso.
It's kind of a weird choice. I don't know what kind of season Sal Perez is having. I know he's a great hitter, but I don't really associate him as a power guy per se.
He's having a really good season, but again, he's a catcher. So it's like he's having a great season for a catcher, I think.
Right.
I don't know. I mean,
he's a great hitter, but
watch him win after we trash him. But
I think
we're not even trashing him, but
I think also the problem is a lot of guys said no to this because they don't want to have a sore back.
They don't want to be the next Bobby Abreu.
What happened to Bobby Abreu?
Oh, he was like killing it. He did the home run derby and then he couldn't hit anything after.
Yeah, I feel like there have been some other instances where guys are just like wiped out after the home run derby. So,
yeah. We got numbers from producer Kyle here. Sal Perez hitting 275, 21 dingers, 53 RBIs.
Dang,
but even
that's pretty good.
It's good, but even that is tough because like the stats this year are so weird for everyone and everything, and with the sticky stuff and then now it's like it's hard to judge anyone.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, Salvador Perez has never hit more than 27 homers in a season. So
yeah, okay.
He's kind of he's going off this year, but
for himself, for definitely.
Yeah, by his standards, yeah. But usually he's in the low 20s.
But yeah, I would assume he'll go down to Officer Pete Alonso.
Yeah.
So Officer Pete, and then we got Matt Olson from the Oakland A's against Trey Mancini.
Big Bopper Matt.
And finally, we got Joey Gallo against Trevor Story. There's a lot of big home run hitters missing from this. I mean,
Vlad Jr. is who we all wish was in it.
Yeah,
Vlad Jr. would be great.
The
Acuna,
Yankees
obviously,
boys,
if he wasn't hurt.
Judge and Stanton,
but they're always getting hurt, so they probably don't want to risk anything.
Yeah,
and they both won it already before in their careers, I think. So they got nothing to prove.
Yeah.
Is everyone's favorite commentator Chris Berman still calling this thing?
Good question. They probably roll him out of Latitude Margaritaville this time every year just to do that. Is my
Trevor,
guess.
I'm gonna tell you a story. Is up to it's like, all right, man, that shtick is not that original and dumb now.
Yeah.
And sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say regarding the actual All-Star game, I'm annoyed because baseball, once again, MLB is doing something stupid where for the first time they're having teams wear uniforms. There are All-Star uniforms this year,
right.
Which to me, that was always like the coolest part about the MLB All-Star game was that you saw a team comprised of all these guys wearing their actual team's uniform. And so I don't know. It's just stupid.
I agree 100%. It's like a ploy to sell more jerseys, but the jerseys are ugly.
Yeah.
Second, it's like that's part of what made the MLB All-Star game unique was that guy, he plays for the Cardinals, and it's like all these cool uniforms all on the field at the same time.
Yeah.
And now it's like, we are getting these ugly jerseys, and you're going to watch and be like, who's that guy play for?
Exactly.
And, I think we got to give Rob Manfred and the MLB office the award for worst running of any major sport.
Yeah,
because they seem to make the wrong move at every turn. These like city jerseys are almost all terrible. Like the Marlins are the only good one, in my opinion.
Or like, remember when they wore the white and black hats, the all white and and then it was like the camera had trouble picking them up, or it was just like, what do you? Come on, you got
those things were hideous.
Yeah, they were ugly.
Yeah. I will say I want to give a shout out to the fans who went to the MLB draft, because every time Rob Manfred came out, he was booed.
Yeah,
that's good.
So that it's important that he knows how much the fans hate him, because he's done all he can to ruin the sport that he is charged with running, and he should feel bad.
Yeah,
because we made fun of how easy managers' jobs are, but MLB commissioner, not an easy job, but I don't think you could do it any worse than he's doing it.
Yeah, he's done a pretty terrible job.
But so who we got? Final picks for this derby.
I mean, Shohei has got to be.
Yeah,
I think Joey Gallo is going to come and win out of nowhere. No, there's no way. Shohei has to win all the way. It's all got to be Shohei.
I think it's
even if Stephen A. Smith doesn't like it, I don't care.
Yeah, Stephen A. Smith apparently doesn't like that the biggest star in baseball right now doesn't speak English. I'd like to see Stephen A. Smith speak Japanese.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm guessing he doesn't.
Yeah. Come on, dude.
You gotta get clicks somehow. I will say, shifting gears back to like the regular season real quick with baseball before we get going, the Yankees and Astros just played a series. I don't know if you guys saw, Altuve hit a walk-off winner the other day, and his teammates ripped his jersey off completely.
Right.
And it's like, what are you guys trying to prove now? Like, why do you keep reminding people of this, because like, of course he's not going to be wearing anything now. You've been busted, but like,
right. Because if you don't know, there was the famous home run from 2017, I believe, where he hit a walk-off home run. His teammates were gathering to celebrate him, and he pointed like, "Don't rip my shirt."
He like covered himself up,
and people are like,
and then in the interview afterwards, they asked him, and he said it was because his wife doesn't like it. He didn't want to upset his wife.
He also said something about a tattoo that his wife didn't like.
Yeah.
But he has no tattoos on his chest or any.
Yeah.
It's all very flimsy. And there's a lot of trolling going back and forth between those two franchises this weekend. Because apparently the Astros, they had like, it was like their 2019, their giveaway was the 2019 AL championship replica ring or something.
They had a trophy, a ring, and I think a pennant or something.
Something like that. All referencing the last playoff series where they walked off the Yankees. Then in one of the games, Aaron Judge hit a homer, and he mocked Altuve as he was rounding third base, like, "Oh, don't take my jersey off." So,
and the Astros catcher pulled his jersey down when he hit a homer in the series at some point as well.
Yeah.
So
it's weird watching, because it's like the biggest cheating scandal in like 20 years, and they're like somehow weirdly using it, like leaning into it, I guess.
Like they're the victims, kind of.
Yeah. It's weird.
And then also it's another example of how terrible Rob Manfred is, because like more guys, like they're cracking down on the sticky stuff. And there have been multiple guys who are like, it's crazy that there's going to be harsher penalties for this thing that we've all been allowed to use for years. But these guys who we all know cheated a few years ago got no penalties, no punishment whatsoever. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Man.
Because we pretty much know now that Altuve had a little buzzer on him that would let him know the pitch, right?
That's what it seems like. Nobody's presented any hard evidence like they did with the trash can banging, but like it's so suspicious. It was such a weird thing, you know.
And fans are still remembering. I forgot to mention it last week at the Blue Jays game. George Springer is now on the team, and every time he went up to bat, you could hear people booing or trash can stuff, or even when he was on the out, like I was in right field, and they shifted him over late in the game, and when he came over, people were still giving him some guff.
Well, yeah, I do. I heard this theory floated, and I think there's something to it, because I believe it's Altuve. Who's the other Astro that just decided not to do the All-Star game?
Is it Correa?
Correa. I think it's Correa. They are both, they both declined. They were voted into the All-Star team, and both are not going. And the theory that I heard floated that I think probably has some merit to it is that they really don't want to be in a clubhouse with all those other guys.
Yeah. I mean,
because, you know, like that's going to be very awkward and uncomfortable. All these guys who you cheated against a couple years ago, you cheated against them, their teammates. You could have probably like ruined some careers through cheating, like guys getting lit up, and then they're like lose confidence and have shaky
they don't get
starts.
Re-signed, or like, you know, guys that are free agents that you light up and they don't get a contract.
So to me, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say again too. We've talked about this before, but there were tons of players who were ticked about all this going into spring training last year, and then COVID sort of killed that story. But like, I'm sure all those guys are still pissed off. Obviously, they're all still mad about it.
Yeah, and it's even weirder how they're like leaning into the thing, and Altuve had his shirt taken off and was like, "See, I got nothing." And it's like, yeah, you got nothing to hide now, but we know what you did, and you haven't paid any consequence. You hadn't paid any price for it. And I think it's probably true that those two guys didn't want to be an all-star, but go sit in a clubhouse and have all these guys, you know, who knows how they're going to handle it. Those guys could give them the silent treatment. They could confront them.
Yeah.
Regardless, clearly they were like, I don't want any part of that. So I'm just going to go home. And I think one of them used, like he said, because his wife was pregnant. And then the other one backed out like right after that. I think within an hour of each other, they both announced they wouldn't be going.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Alex Cora and the Red Sox. Boom. No one remembers that.
Yeah. Yep.
That one's been brushed aside.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe that's why the Red Sox are doing good. Maybe they're cheating.
Yeah, they got the iWatch thing again.
Yeah, exactly.
Although there's all these regulations apparently with the bullpen now, where they can't even watch the game in real time on screens in the bullpen anymore. They have like a delayed broadcast or something.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah, but we'll see. Yeah. I don't know. I get it. I get not wanting to go to the All-Star game if you're those guys. I think it would not
I mean, I
well.
wouldn't, but
yeah.
I would hope that I wouldn't have gone along with that whole cheating situation.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. We'll see what happens. I think I say what you want about the records going back to like the regular season and everything. I think like you kind of know who the contenders are now and who the non-contenders are. I think it's pretty safe to see that in the league right now. So
yeah. It's cool to watch the Red Sox and the Giants defy expectations. So
also, if anyone's looking for a job, the Marlins are looking for.
Oh,
someone.
Yeah, we
forgot.
Do you want to give the background on that?
No, you got this.
Okay.
But this is like a little our job, our weekly job openings segment.
Yeah, we want to help people get jobs. I mean, 2/3 of the podcast is basically unemployed. Mm-hmm. So we're also looking. But the Marlins just posted a job opening today for a social media assistant. And that's right after a social media debacle. So I'm sure someone lost their job because I believe it was Jazz Chisholm hit a ball to right field. The one that Ronald Acuna was trying to catch when he landed awkwardly and tore his ACL. And the ball bounced around because obviously he went to the ground and Jazz ran for an inside the park home run. Obviously, if Ronald hadn't had a season-ending injury, that wouldn't have been the case. But you can't blame the play. Like, of course, he's score. Like the opposite is when did you guys see the game where the Diamondbacks player could have thrown out Daniel Vogelbach at home and they just didn't?
Yeah, he was limping in. Yeah,
that was like the weirdest thing I've ever seen. They were just like,
well,
he's hurt.
Bullshit.
Let him score. So that was the opposite. But the Marlins did that, and it's like, okay. But then the tone deaf, whoever ran their social media account, reposted the clip and was like, hey, check out Jazz Chisholm's inside the park home run. And it's like, dude, someone just like had a possibly career altering injury. What are you doing?
Yeah.
And they deleted the post.
And there's history for those of you who don't know. There's like a ton of history between Ronald Acuna and the Marlins. The Marlins have hit him 7 times, I think. One time breaking his wrist a few years ago. So on top of like just even if it was like any random player, you don't want to repost their like season-ending injury.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, there's that added layer of the feud between those two.
It's a bad look. It's a bad look, guys.
Right.
But they fired him.
Whoever did that was fired, and now there's a job opening. So if you know a lot about social media and you go find that job post and just word of the wise, don't post stupid shit.
Yeah.
Just in general, just don't do it. You know how much we all love social media. We are 3 of the biggest influencers. We all think social media is good. We all think it does good stuff. We all think it's fun, the 3 of us. So Yeah.
It's great. And
I haven't deleted like all my accounts basically,
yeah, I didn't delete an app on my phone today. That didn't happen.
Yeah. Ultimately, social media is a force for good that brings out the best in people and unites us. And I think that's what it's all about.
We all need to know what we're thinking at all times. So that's good stuff.
Also, that was lost because of obviously the injury. But we did have that Ronald getting hit situation happen again where the pitcher was ejected. And a lot of people I saw takes where it's like that ump shouldn't have ejected, which you can argue. But like, yeah, come on, you have to acknowledge it was weird how often they would throw at Ronnie,
right?
The Marlins. But it doesn't matter now because he's out for a year. So, yeah.
So that's great.
That's great. It's really good.
It's great.
So on that uplifting note, that's our show.
Yeah. Bye. No, I mean, look, it is uplifting for, I imagine, a lot of people listening. If we're broadcasting out in New York, and our network is like Long Island based, a lot of Mets fans, I'm sure, are super pumped. Not that like they were even looking at the Braves anymore anyway, but speaking of, I was in New York over last week, and I'm glad I don't live there anymore, I gotta say.
Yeah, it's back. New York is back. I've been working in the city lately, and I have to say the lizard people are back. The businessmen in like $5,000 suits walking around, they're back from their hidey hole in the Hamptons or whatever.
I mean, they're really the soul and the lifeblood of that town,
Yeah.
So it's good that they're back.
They're as good and important to the town as, say, CBGB's was, or pizza or stickball.
Sure.
It's totally back. In my 1.5 hour long wait to get through the Holland Tunnel to drive back home, I had a white lady get out of her car and start yelling at me for holding up the whole thing somehow. So yeah, it felt good to be back.
Why is it important that she's white, Diego? Maybe you should examine your bias here.
Maybe I should. Oh, that said, while I was in line, I saw Derrick Rose walking down the street, so that was kind of cool.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a city of stars, okay?
He was walking around Tribeca.
Yeah, he was walking around Tribeca by himself wearing some really ugly Crocs that were probably like $5,000 because they like look like Yeezys a little bit, but they were like Croc style. No one bothering him, but it's like I told my wife, because I was like, hey, that's Derrick Rose. He's the starting point guard for the Knicks, or not starting. He was coming off the bench, but he's point guard for the Knicks. The only guy who kind of did damage to the Hawks in the playoffs this season. And I was like, yeah, out here he can walk by himself because all the real New Yorkers that live out there, don't really care. Because if you take Derrick Rose and put him in like the Bronx or somewhere else, like he would have been mobbed, I'm sure.
Right. Yeah. Tribeca.
But in Tribeca, it was like no one knows who he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was by himself, just like unbothered. Like there were people walking by, but completely unbothered.
It's sort of like, like him walking around Tribeca is like the equivalent of somebody from Dear Evan Hansen walking around South Bronx. Like nobody's gonna care. Nobody knows who that guy is.
It's like
right.
It's like me walking around the Grand Concourse.
Mm-hmm.
No one cares, even though I'm a lord, and they should.
One day they'll care.
Again, respect us. We're lords, so we deserve your respect. We expect your respect.
Yeah. But yeah, New York, it was great being in. Yeah, but I'm glad I'm glad I'm out.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm technically out, so I guess I can say that too.
Yeah, but yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up for another classic episode here of the Sports Lords.
Before, just 2 quick shouts out.
Yeah, lead into the mic before you give them.
Oh, sorry. 2 quick shouts out. Tampa Bay Lightning Stanley Cup winners. We've been following the season very closely. You've heard us talk about it. And also shout out to Conor McGregor for breaking his leg in the first round of the fight, and then still somehow saying that it was it's not a legitimate win for Dustin Poirier. Pretty impressive.
That's cool.
Getting beaten very badly and then breaking his leg, and it doesn't count.
Friend of the show, Conor McGregor. He's been on with us, so look that episode up. Go back in the archives. And just want to thank the English national team once again. Like, crazy how like this keeps happening, where we get these sponsors and they just line up perfectly with a story like that. But
well, they were hoping that when they took out that ad space that they'd be celebrating in Las Vegas as they were planning to do. But that wasn't in the cards.
It's not coming home. It's coming to Rome, as the Italians were singing into the cameras.
That's pretty clever.
Yeah.
Hey, those two rhyme.
Yeah. They rhyme. They sound the same.
No.
But that's gonna do it for another app. Make sure you check out the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Go to the site. Just give it a Google if you don't want to look it up what the site is, which is the name.com. But yeah, give it a Google, check out the app, check out all the other shows on the network. Lots of good stuff going on all the time, lots of good stuff being shared, lots of information being shared. Very different from us, but it's all there. So check us out on there as well. And everyone stay safe, and we'll see y'all next week for another app.
Bye
everyone. Have a good week.
Oh,
cheerio.
Oh, cheerio, Vin.
Hi.
Uh-oh. There we go.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor, and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit him online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is